How's it going, everyone? Nick here. Welcome back to the channel. So just yesterday, my fiance Haley and I closed on our very first house. And yes, it is the house you see in the background right now. I will give a tour in a future video. And of course, we had to sign all of the paperwork and closing documents. But most importantly, we had to pay closing costs. More likely than not, if you clicked on this video, you want some clarification on what closing costs actually are. Because yes, they can get pretty confusing pretty fast. So look, in this video, I'm actually going to show you our closing documents. Meaning I'm going to pull up our closing disclosure, which has every single thing that you need to pay for to close on a house. Hopefully this actually helps some of you out if you're going through buying your first home, or you're just curious for the future what you actually have to pay to buy a home. I'm going to give it all to you right now. And before we start, if the audio is a bit echoey, it's just because we don't really have anything in the house right now, so the sound is bouncing all over the walls. Okay, so let's just start with how much our closing costs actually were. We bought this townhouse for $400,000. Our closing costs ended up being $14,660. So after some quick math, that means our closing costs were a bit over 3.5% of the total purchase price. Now, from a quick Google search, average closing costs can range anywhere from 3% to around 6%. Now, this all depends on various things such as where you live, your lender, and other things like that. All right, so let's hop into our closing disclosure. So you guys can see our general loan information right here. We actually got a very good interest rate of 2.625%. Now, this is because both me and my fiance have excellent credit. Now, we did both just turn 24, so it definitely is not impossible for you to have an excellent credit score in your early 20s. I posted some videos in the past about credit scores, how you can raise them, but I do plan on doing more credit videos in the future, so stay tuned for those. And as you can see in these loan terms, none of this can change after closing, so the amount of your loan, the interest rate, was all locked in. Okay, so now we can see our projected payments. So this includes principal and interest of the loan, along with other escrow fees. So you can see just principal and interest alone is a little bit under $1,500 a month. Now there's also an estimated escrow amount, which as you can see here is $437. And really what that is our property taxes and homeowners insurance. So you can see at the very bottom here, our total payment per month is around $1,900. So that includes principal and interest along with those escrow charges. Now we do also have an HOA, so our homeowners association fee is $100 a month. So here's our numbers again for the closing costs, $14,660. Now this includes $7,600 in loan costs plus another $7,000 in other costs. Now I'll go over what all of those costs are in just a second. And you can also see right here, there's a number cash to close, that's $35,000. That number is actually the closing costs plus any down payment that you haven't already paid. So in our case, we put down $5,000 as an earnest money deposit, so that goes towards our down payment. And also in our case, we got the seller to pay $10,000 towards our closing costs. So that's reflected in here as well. Okay, so now up on the screen are all of those loan costs that equal to around $7,600. So a lot of these have to do with the title company along with other fees that you have to pay when buying a house. So first up, you can see origination charges here at the top, and this includes processing fees and underwriting fees. Now you can see towards the bottom half of this picture in section B, there's actually services that the borrower did not shop for, meaning I could have went out and found each of these things individually and gotten the best price. But we just made it easy and went with everyone that the lender recommended to us. Now we probably could have saved a little bit of money here if we did shop for these things, but to us it really wasn't worth the hassle. So you guys can see things such as an appraisal fee to actually appraise the house, see how much it was worth, along with other things such as a credit report, flood certification, and what's interesting for this one, we actually put mortgage insurance into our loan. So we had to get PMI or private mortgage insurance because we only put 10% down on the house. And we went with a conventional loan, not a first-time home buyer loan or anything like that. So usually the way it works is that because we only paid 10% down, you would have to pay PMI, that is a monthly amount, until you get equity up to 20 or 22%. But you also have the option, if you have good enough credit, to roll a lump sum PMI payment into your actual loan. What that means is we don't have monthly PMI payments. We pay all of the PMI up front, and when we did the calculations and compared, this way saved us more money rather than paying the PMI every month until we get to 22% equity. So along with that, you guys can see all of these title fees, abstract title search fee, lender's title insurance, everything like that, and all of that has to do with the title of the home. Okay, so those were all the loan costs. Now we have this $7,000 worth of other costs. So we can see these are broken up to 3 sections. In the first section, we have taxes and other government fees. So this includes recording fees, city and county tax, along with state tax. Now we live in Virginia, so it's not as expensive as states like New York, California, Oregon, those really West Coast and Northeastern states. So you guys can see the amounts there. I won't read them out to you. But next we have what's called prepaids. So this is everything that we're prepaying into escrow. So a good example is the first line here, homeowner's insurance premium. This is our actual homeowner's insurance for an entire year. So you can see $981. That'll cover our full first year of homeowner's insurance. So they lump this into closing costs, but really you would pay for this anyway. Then there's also prepaid interest. So our closing date was January 12th. So they'll take everything from January 12th till February 1st. And whatever your interest is, whatever they calculate it to be there, they throw that into closing costs as well. Okay, so this next part can get a little bit confusing. So this is all of the initial escrow payment at closing. And you can see the first line here is homeowner's insurance at $81 a month for 3 months, equaling around $250. So the way this works, since we didn't choose to pay our homeowner's insurance just out of pocket to the homeowner's insurance company we chose, the escrow account for our house, meaning the lender, they'll actually hold that money and pay the homeowner's insurance themselves. So we provide the money to escrow and then they pay the homeowner's insurance. It is complicated, but this is just an easier way so I don't have to actually track things like this. And then last but not least, property taxes. Now obviously this goes by state and locality. Okay, and then finally, we have other fees and charges that you would expect. This includes real estate commissions, HOA dues, escrow holdback, and title insurance for myself. I won't go through these, but all of these are pretty normal and you're probably expected to pay them anytime you buy a property. So as you can see, for borrower paid closing costs, that's me since I am the borrower on the loan, we paid $14,660 for closing costs. Now remember, we did get that $10,000 credit, so really we only paid a little bit above $4,000 for closing costs. And that's just a tip. If you are buying a house, try to see if you can get the seller to pay for most, if not all, of the closing costs. And with all of that being said, I hope this video helped you understand a little bit more what goes into closing costs and why you need to pay them and why they're important for closing on a home. If you guys want to see me do any other video topics, house tours, credit cards, anything, put them down below in the comments. Give this video a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.